full-time MMA?
MMA.
Nothing
Yeah.
else?
My life, man, yeah.
Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Yo, God, the thing goes grrrr, pop, 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 pop. Skitty kid pop, pop, and the poop, poop, boom.
Back to the daily grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time
MMA.
Holy flying flipping flapjacks, yo. Whenever I seen Mark Hunt was pissed off about being pulled and whatever and responded to being pulled, I did not see this motherfucking the thing going skrat. I just seen the other fucking tweet, you know, or Instagram post. I didn't see this one where he fucking lit a fire under Dana White's ass. Oh my god, yo. Oh, Dana White's responding to being cussed out by Mark Hunt. I did not see the full fucking, yo. Listen to what you might have already seen this by now, but if you haven't, man, I gotta read this because oh my lord. Mark Hunt was okay. This is what Mark Hunt, he said. This is Mark Hunt cussing out Dana White. He said, at Dana White, you piece of shit motherfucker. Why you fuckers pull me from the fight? You getting another lawsuit? Oh my god. Oh my, I'm gonna have to cut this. Okay, let me try to do this straight. Okay. At Dana White, you piece of shit motherfucker. Why you fuckers pull me from the fight? You getting another lawsuit? You fuck with you. Okay, dude, I can't do it. My bad, y'all. Okay, I'm getting it this time. I hear my fucking serious face. Mark Hunt, you be cracking me the fuck up, yo. Alright, at Dana White, you piece of shit motherfucker. Why you fuckers pull me from the fight? You getting another lawsuit, you fuckwit. You can kiss my ass, you bald-headed prick. You put that chicken shit bitch in, get fucked, cocksucker. Damn. He said you're getting another lawsuit. Oh, sorry, this motherfucker shit is so funny to me. Dana White responded though, yo. Dana White responded, and he responded eloquently. Dana White said, okay, first let's get into the backstory. Alright, serious face. I just completely missed that whenever Mark Hunt said all that shit, dude. I got off work and I seen Dana White was responding to being cussed out. I was like, okay, I seen Mark Hunt call, you know, say this was bullshit and whatever, and say, you know, I seen him responding to them saying he got pulled out because of his own words. Because if you didn't know, here's the backstory. Motherfucking Mark Hunt was scheduled to fight Marcin Tybura in Sydney, and he was pulled out of that fight, the main event, because of an interview he did where he was stating that he was, you know, starting to slur his words, and he was gonna die for the sport, and he was fine with that, and he couldn't remember like what he ate for breakfast some days, and like some crazy ass interview where it pretty much seemed like he was talking about he was already having onset concussion issues, and he was fine with that, and he was still gonna fight again. Well, the UFC, who had him scheduled in a main event, and by the way, Mark Hunt's already got a lawsuit against the UFC for fighting Brock Lesnar at UFC 200 when Brock Lesnar tested positive for I don't know if it was a steroid or estrogen block, but motherfucking Brock Lesnar popped dirty, and you know, it was kind of expected. A lot of people kind of expected that. The UFC, he didn't have to go through the full, you know, USADA 1 month. They waived this fucking shit because he was treated as a new fighter, whatever the fuck. So the UFC allowed Mark Hunt to fight, and Mark Hunt is like, hey, they knew he was on steroids. They're all conspiring against me, blah, blah, blah. So he's suing the UFC already. Now he's scheduled to fight in the main event, and they pulled him like, hey, you're doing interviews talking about you can't remember what you had for breakfast sometimes, and I like, you know, we can't let you fight. You're suing us. That right there, I gotta agree with the UFC. There's no way with Mark Hunt saying that in an interview you can let him fight. Now, well, I don't about the timing of maybe they just found when they pulled him. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, the UFC did do what they had to do here. And now Mark Hunt, Mark Hunt's Mark Hunt. You know, he's gonna be pissed off. He still wanted to fight. He said that in the interview. I want to fight and shit. But with the fact that you're suing the UFC, but listen to what Dana White had to say, because I got some other stuff to say, but we have to hear what Dana had to say first. This is what Dana White said in response to getting cussed out. He went off on me. He's always going off on me. Sometimes you have to protect these guys from themselves, and that's what we're looking into right now. He made a statement that I've hated him forever. I don't hate Mark Hunt at all. I've never hated Mark Hunt, and he knows that. I was actually really good to Mark Hunt. And right there, yo, I gotta agree with El Jefe, because he's been pretty good to Mark Hunt, bro. Even though Mark Hunt's suing him, he still got the main event against Derek Lewis. In what it was where? New Zealand, Auckland? Fucking real close to home for Mark Hunt, if not his hometown. I don't know exactly where he comes from in New Zealand, but I do believe he comes from New Zealand. So with that being said, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but you get the fucking point. With that being said, that's pretty nice. Even though you're suing us, we're letting you main event versus Derek Lewis. You know, that's cool. You know, you can say they're making money off of it or whatever. That's a pretty good deal. We're letting you main event. So, also, even though he's suing them for the Brock Lesnar fight, bro, you got to fight not only Brock Lesnar, but at UFC 200. Talk about opportunity of a motherfucking lifetime. That's kind of like the Nate Diaz getting to fight Conor McGregor scenario. Talk about opportunity of a motherfucking lifetime. Even though this nigga popped dirty, Brock Lesnar before the fight was talking about, I know he's juiced to the gills, fuck it, you know, fuck these dirty cheats, I'll still knock him out, some shit like that. Everybody, not just Mark Hunt, was kind of like, hey, Brock Lesnar might be on, but he popped dirty, but we kind of knew that going into it. Man, you get the fucking point, bro. I'm kind of on the UFC side here. I mean, I understand Mark Hunt being pissed off, and now I'm not talking about the lawsuit, but I'm saying they kind of had to pull him from this fight after that fucking interview. I mean, that's not really some shit you can say while you're suing the UFC. And when Dana White says he's been good to Mark Hunt, he kind of has been, bro. I remember seeing Mark Hunt's salary on one of these fucking salary reports after the fights. He's getting paid pretty well. Now, he's been in the sport for a long time. He's a heavyweight and all that. But he makes a pretty penny to fight. I mean, a lot more than these other guys. And shit, if he can't remember what he ate for breakfast, or if he's starting to have, I know that a lot of these guys are worth that amount of money. But I mean, to me. But I mean, shit, Mark Hunt, I mean, it's not like the UFC has just been shitting on him every opportunity, because in my opinion, if that was the case, he wouldn't be getting main events. He was scheduled to main event again in Australia, in Sydney. I mean, if he didn't do this interview, he probably is still fighting. I mean, does the UFC hate you? The fact that they were about to let you main event twice in your home fucking town, country? I mean, I don't know, man. And they let you fight Brock Lesnar, UFC. It's hard to convince me that the UFC hates you when they got you the Brock Lesnar fight at UFC 200. Plus, you've been main eventing your last two fights while you're still suing them, bro. I mean, I like Mark Hunt. I think everybody likes Mark Hunt, including Dana White. I think Dana White is probably a little perturbed that you're suing him, as anybody would be. But the dude still he's still respecting you. I will say that. I mean, now, it did get a little disrespectful with the fact that Fabricio got the fight, knowing the history. But I mean, who else gonna be able to move in to that main event slot in the heavyweight division? You got to think about that too. It might not just be it might not just be because, oh yeah, Mark Hunt, we're trying to get at Mark Hunt. I mean, there's a lot of things that can point to you being replaced by Fabricio specifically. Now, it's funny that you and Fabricio have this history, and so it's even, rubbing salt in your wound, so I understand that. But at the same time, who else is gonna fucking, in the heavyweight division, can main event a fucking card versus Marcin Tybura? I mean, that card, that was the heavyweight. All the star power really was Mark Hunt. I mean, I don't know much about this Tybura guy. This was really him getting put on the map to me. I mean, so who else? Let's go down the top 5. We got Fabricio. I mean, it can't be Cain Velasquez. He's injured. Francis is fighting Alistair. They're booked. Stipe's still not fighting nobody, but he's not about to fucking main event a fight night on month's notice versus Marcin Tybura. So who the fuck? It literally had to be Fabricio. Can't be Derek Lewis. He's injured and shit. I mean, Who? Literally. Fabricio was willing to do it, and Fabricio was probably ready to do it because he was talking that shit. I mean, Fabricio at first was saying he didn't want to fight in Australia because he didn't want to move his camp over there. But then you called him a dog shit coward and all this, and you got pulled out of your fight. So maybe Fabricio's like, hey, you know what? I'll take that fight just to piss you. I don't know, man. There's a lot of shit in this fucking days of our UFC lives. This is a whole fucking soap opera here with Dana White and Mark Hunt saga. I mean, I don't know, bro. There's too much going on here, and I'm not gonna pick a side. I literally understand both sides, but I am kind of leaning a little bit toward the UFC side just here because Mark Hunt's kind of shot himself in the foot with that interview. And I mean, I enjoy the fuck out of this entertainment though. It's entertaining to me. The way he cussed out Dana White, man, yo, I couldn't stop. I literally read that and I couldn't stop laughing, bro. That shit is fucking epic. A lot of Mark Hunt's rants are epic. Mark Hunt's that dude, one of my favorite fighters. I was surprised that his fucking lawsuit with the UFC survived the first motion to the UFC's got some expensive ass lawyers. Somebody I don't remember if it was off a podcast or what, man. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts at work. I started listening to that Biz Ping pod. By the way, cut this fucking video off if you're still listening. Like, oh, why is this guy talking so much? Bitch, I just got off of work. Eat a dick. Anyways, motherfucker, I was listening to I don't know what it was off of, but they were saying Mark Hunt's gonna go broke, keep trying to sue the UFC. But that kind of, I think his lawyers were down, they signed up for that shit, pro bono type shit. I don't know, maybe they're only gonna get paid if they win or some shit. But yeah, I don't think Mark Hunt's that crazy. I don't think he would just throw all his money at suing Brock Lesnar in the UFC. Mark Hunt, even though he's saying, I don't think he's that crazy, bro. So we'll see what happens with Mark Hunt. I don't even know how, because he was medically cleared to fight. But with him saying that, is the UFC ever going to let him fight again? Is he going to have to undergo some serious medical evaluations? Because for them to already have cleared him, but have to pull him from the fight, how do you get re-cleared? We know you're medically cleared to fight, but what's going on in your brain? He's going to have to get CTE scans and all type of shit. See, with that interview. Literally, now that I think about it, he might not fight again in the UFC, yo. Just because of that, I don't fucking know. Plus the lawsuit with the interview, I don't know. But I don't think Dana White's hated Mark Hunt forever. You can call me crazy, but I actually think Mark Hunt, and I could be fucking just completely stupid here. He's got a pretty nice contract. I kind of want to Google that, but I've already been talking too long, and I ain't gonna fucking make y'all wait through that. But he was upward of $500,000 or more per fight, and that was a non-title fight. So it was hey, that's hey, okay. I know heavyweights get paid, but fucking that's a pretty penny. And hey, if he's got concussions and CTE and all that shit, like I said, he deserves it. But a lot of these fighters don't get that much money. And some of the research on Mark Hunt that I've done, he really didn't. He was always a fan favorite, but he had to earn his way into the UFC. Because whenever I think he used to fight for Strikeforce, but whenever he came to the UFC, his record wasn't too hot. He's not a guy that is just known for dominating people. He's known for brawling, slugfest, fucking fan favorite type of fights. But so it's not even like he's just out here, I don't know, man. It's tough here. He's toward the end of his career. I don't know. Fucking what it is, dog. Let me know in the comments if you think we'll see Mark Hunt fight again. I'm sure a lot of you think we will, but it's just interesting the fact that he got pulled after being medically cleared. Now what is he gonna have to do to prove that he can fight again to the UFC? That interview is a motherfucker. Talking about you can't, that's a motherfucker, bro. The UFC's trying to, because I was about to get off, but think about it. USADA, I know a lot of you guys, and it's a good point, believe that USADA's around to protect the UFC from lawsuits, because it takes away the USADA as far as the entertainment value hurts it. We lose John Jones to USADA. We lose Brock Lesnar versus John Jones to USADA. We lose Brock Lesnar to USADA. We lose Junior Dos Santos versus Francis Ngannou to USADA. We lose a lot of the fucking older athletes that could fight a couple more years maybe with TRT or some shit that are going over to fucking Bellator now to USADA. We lose, I mean, you know, we lose a lot of fucking entertainment value to USADA. So you ask the question, why are they really here? Is it because the UFC really just wants some fighters not on any type of steroids? I don't think, or performance enhanced drugs. They don't really don't want fighters using IVs and shit like that. I don't think that's why. A lot of people in the comments say no, it's because when motherfuckers get CTE and they can't remember what they ate for breakfast and they sue us saying, oh, they encouraged it. They can't sue us and say that we encouraged steroids. We did our best to clean up the sport. So, you know, so that could, I don't know. You get the fucking point, bro. But I've talked enough on this video, but I do want to say this Mark Hunt versus Dana White could just be the next fantasy fight. Let me know if y'all want to do that in the comments, man. I'm off of work. I'm going to get a couple more motherfucking news stories out and shit, dog. It is what it is. Back to the grind tomorrow, man. Let us know what the fuck you tell me in the comments. I'm out. The dudes that hate on the full-time family are the type of dudes that wait on their homeboys to get inside the crib before they pull off.
Bye, Felicia.